Hi there, this is Joe from SquareXO, and this is SquareXO episode 40. I'm joined by Rebecca.
Hello everyone.
And Dan.
Hello.
And Nicole.
Hello.
Before we start, don't forget to follow us on squarexo.co.uk, that's our website, on twitter.com/square_xo, youtube.com/johnsonwater, we're on patreon.com/squarexo, we're on twitch.tv/squarexo, we're on iTunes, we're on Podbean. You can download, listen on your Android phone. You can obviously listen on iTunes by leaving us a nice review as well. No, you can listen before you leave us a nice review, but if you want to leave a nice review, do that. I think that's it. I don't know. I think I've covered it. Okay, so here we go. Episode 40. Nice round number. Next week, the podcast is going to be on a Monday. Right, probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm hoping we'll be able to get it up the same night as Sony's conference happens, because that's next Monday in Paris. So hopefully we can talk about it and get it up the same night, and then we'll be right on cue and you can get our thoughts on everything that Sony's announced then. As for this week, there's lots of news to talk about and lots of opinion from both ourselves and of course from you as well, because I've been finding out your opinion on things that's been going on. So we'll talk about all that, and yeah, we'll see where we go from there. I think we've got plenty to say though. So we
should just pat ourselves on the back for getting to episode 40 as well. Not to be overly self-loving and self-indulgent, but I think well done everyone. Thanks everyone for coming back to listen, but also well done to everybody involved, and that's helped us get to number 40. It's not a milestone, it's not 50 or 100, but life starts at 40, as they say. So I just say thank you to everyone. Yeah.
Aww.
Okay.
Sorry, Joe.
That's all right. I'll just let you say what you want to say. Then I'll get on with the news. Okay, now there's big news. The biggest news. I'll leave that a minute. I'll come back to that at the end of the news. Okay, I'll just have a look. I'm trying to skip the bit I was going to talk about because I want to leave it at the end, so I'll just talk about this. But instead, Visceral's closing down. The Star Wars game. They were working on the Star Wars game. Amy Hennig and Rihanna Pratchett. Got her name right eventually. Yeah, quite a few big names actually. Visceral was a studio responsible for Dead Space and stuff, but EA has decided that the studio's closing down. There's sort of rumours that from this Jason Schreier, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's a Kotaku reporter. Basically, he basically said that Visceral closed down because the Star Wars project was in disarray, and not for the reasons stated by EA, which was that basically they're moving away from it being a single player game because that's the way the industry's going, and they'd rather focus on their Star Wars game being whatever way the industry's going. I don't know what way's that. Loot boxes? What is it?
Microtransactions.
I mean, it's a lot of nonsense in my opinion. First of all, before we even go on about the Star Wars game, which I was looking forward to, I think it's fair to say that we wish everyone well who's lost their job, and hopefully they'll all be rehoused within EA somewhere, or if not, find something else. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Amy Hennig, in fact, because obviously she's quite a big name developer. She worked in the first two Uncharted's, wrote the story, or she was certainly involved in the story. So that's why I was kind of looking forward to a Star Wars game, because I think me and quite a few others imagined it as just being like a Uncharted Star Wars, which would have been totally epic. Imagine Star Wars but Uncharted sort of crossed over. How good would that be? So it's kind of a shame, but we never really saw anything of it. All we basically saw was a little tiny clip of them looking out at all the sort of ships and stuff, but there's never really been anything said of it or shown of it, so it's a bit hard to get excited for it, I guess, when you don't know what it's all about. And the fact is also that it's now been delayed. So I think it's now delayed to. It was due out. What's it? 2017. I think it was due out 2019. I think they were aiming for. So now it's been delayed.
Has it been delayed indefinitely with the closure of the studio?
No, because what they've done is they've given it to other studios. So other studios is working on it now. So but it's been delayed due to that. So we're now talking. We could be talking 2020 or beyond. It's basically going to be a PlayStation 5 game, by the sounds of things.
Yeah, possibly.
So yeah. So I've just been asking some thoughts of our users on this. I mean, so Sean on Twitter, he said thoughts on Visual Games and therefore changes to Star Wars game and from the sound of it changing from just single player. I don't know if I took that out of context, but I think maybe I've because it doesn't sound right. But he said with Visceral Games, it's a major waste of Amy Hennig's talent in the last few years of her career too.
Yeah.
I don't know what that other bit was. I'm thinking I'm just going mad. But yeah, so he's right. But again, we don't really know what's going on. If it isn't disarray, then maybe it's her fault. You know what I mean? You just don't know. So I mean, there we go. Spooky Dan also, he said bang out of order for killing off this Star Wars game. A lot of people have been freaking out saying that single player games are dying, but they're not, says Joe Robson, because obviously what this story brought up, because the way EA worded their story, was that single player games are kind of dying, and obviously there's a lot of single player games out there, so we all know that's not true. There's a lot of really great single player games even just out right now, but it seems to me that both EA and Activision are kind of hoping that that's not the case. They kind of would rather not focus on single player. They're more in it for the money, aren't they? It seems, because in a sort of related story, Activision patented a matchmaking system which was designed to encourage microtransactions. So for instance, if you go up against, say, someone, let's use FIFA as an example because I know that well, but say you go up against someone in FIFA who's got this pure amazing strip or whatever that they got out of pack or whatever, and you see it, and then this system would flag up how you can buy that strip so that you'd then go and buy it.
Really?
So yeah, in Call of Duty, for instance, if somebody's got a skin on their gun and you come up against them, think, wow, I like that skin, and then this, I don't know how it would work, but I presume this notification would pop up on the screen going, oh, you can buy this skin, do you want to buy it, sort of thing. It's weird, but yeah. So I mean that's the sort of thing they're trying to make money at you. Apparently it's not been implemented into any games, but it just sounds completely and utterly dodgy. I mean, this is probably
it just sounds like advertisements.
This is the best.
You're not forced to. I hate it, but you're not forced to buy it. If you just give in, then you're almost as bad as the businesses themselves. You don't have to buy it because they're flagging it up, do you?
This is the way it's described. It says, for instance, the microtransaction engine may match a more expert marquee player with a junior player to encourage a junior player to make game-related purchases of items possessed or used by the marquee player. That's what the patent reads. So, but they've not used it yet. But it is a bit dodgy, isn't it? I mean, it's just basically going, if you look up to someone who's a good player and you see all the things they've got, you might go, oh yeah, I've been matched against them. Look at that stuff they've got. I'm going to buy that stuff so I can be as good as them.
But how did they get that stuff in the first place? Was it because they've played it for a long time?
Yeah, probably.
Because also, yeah, you could just say, oh, I'm going to make sure I put 10 or 20 hours into the game because I want that skin or that costume. You don't have to give it.
People do. That's the point.
Yeah, I think that's the trouble. The reason I don't mind microtransactions to some extent is because it is a choice, and as you say, Dan, you can just decide not to do it. but when you're kind of being pestered, it kind of makes you feel more inclined to in some way. And like you said, some people will cave to that, and it makes it seem less of a choice.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's just a quick way of being able to sort of get what you want in a game, and if you've got a few pound, you might think, oh well, it's only a few pound, but it soon adds up. Certainly adds up if everybody does it and goes, it's only a few pound. Think how many millions Activision make just from everybody spending a few pound.
Yeah.
I mean, they make a fortune.
Yeah.
People do it.
We should go back to Visceral a minute as well, because I've never actually played any of their games, which might be a, it's obviously a bad thing because they've closed down, but maybe they've been closed down because, I don't know, maybe their games weren't reaching the amount of people that maybe EA thought they should be. I don't know.
I know Dead Space was huge, but obviously Dead Space finished. Was it 2013, the last installment or something?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
But
maybe
there
after
was
they
free
lost that.
games, wasn't there, in the series? So you don't need to keep dragging it through the mud. If they're free good games, then be creative and come up with something new. And maybe the studio was just not.
Well, Dead Space was successful, so it shows that they did have the talents to make a game that captivated audiences. But apart from Dead Space, I would really struggle to point out any of their other titles.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, so it's an odd one. It is a shame because obviously a lot of people were excited for it and Amy Hennig's work, but someone like Square Enix will probably offer her a role, or someone. I know that Rhianna Pratchett worked on the original Tomb Raider anyway, so she probably wouldn't go back. But
Visceral done the Simpsons game on PS3. I like that. That's a good game, that is.
it's hardly AAA multi-billion pounds, though, is it? That I think
They've done Battlefield Hardline as well, which isn't that long ago. An Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel.
I've not played any of these.
Army of Two was alright.
Yeah, but Dead Space 2 and 3, Dead Space Extraction, the Dead Space, that's probably their biggest games, really, I'd say. And obviously they were working on Star Wars game, which is a huge game and probably could have been massive, but obviously EA's saw enough to convince them that it's not really going anywhere.
Maybe it just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Games
sure
get cancelled, don't they?
I'm sure if
the
EA
time.
looked at it and thought, wow, this is going to sell millions, they wouldn't have shut the studio down. So they must have made the decision based on what they know about the game and just thought to themselves, yeah, well, it's not good enough.
I wonder who they give it to, though. Because they don't necessarily have...
Well, they're giving it
studios,
to studios like Motive, which is a fairly new studio, and probably spreading it around. But EA Motive, which is headed up by Jade Raymond, and who of sort of Ubisoft Assassin's Creed fame. So they're going to be doing it, and it'll probably be spread around a few other studios as well. So, I mean, so there we go. Anyway, let's move on from that. I thought Dan might like this news. E3 has a new logo.
Yeah, I saw that. Pretty basic, though, isn't it? No disrespect to the designer.
No, but it's alright. It's quite clean. It's just like a fresh start almost. Because the old one was it felt a bit...
1990s, wasn't it? It was like the old N64 logo.
Yeah, it was like a really old sort of tired logo, so I thought the new one was kind of just a fresh. I don't really know anything about design, but I just thought, well, it's better than the old one. That's what I thought about it. But I just thought I'd mention it just because Dan likes that sort of thing.
Thank you for thinking of me.
Okay, the Halo Master Chief Collector's Edition is to be enhanced for Xbox One X next year. I'm not sure how many people actually want to play it, but then I'm not actually sure that many people are playing it now, but there we go. They have to wait another year to get it enhanced with a few more pixels. That's good. Doom for Switch got a release date for November, but it costs like 50 quid or something, which is ridiculous, really. When you can pick
Switch
up
games are really expensive.
the PS4 version, you can pick up for under a tenner on Amazon.
Literally, yes.
That's
And
crazy.
it's a better version. I mean, it's just, that's for even playing the Switch version, you already know that the PS4 version's better. It looks better. The multiplayer will be better. I mean, everything about it will be better. So I mean, tenner or pay 50 quid just so you can play Doom and Go. I don't know. They should definitely have reduced the price. But then it is a Bethesda game, so they'll probably be cheap 2 weeks after launch.
Probably.
Yeah, that's been the trend,
just the way it goes with their games, really.
Yeah.
Like someone was saying that Wolfenstein, that's like 50 quid or something. It'll be 30, 25 within a month.
That's why I've not
literally what I
got.
paid.
Yeah, I've not got Evil Within 2 yet because I'm waiting for it to drop.
Yeah,
so
it'll
in a few
drop
weeks
quite
it'll
fast.
drop.
Well,
I mean,
that guarantee that will go down in Black Friday. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that went down last time in Black Friday, so.
You can buy the original Wolfenstein in the order, and Wolfenstein's at First Blood or
The Old Blood.
the Old Blood. Both of them £3.49 on PSN.
Yeah, they've been down like that for a while. But they're so worthwhile, like fantastic games, but they just depreciate in price so quick.
No, and then, I mean, getting back to the talk about the single player, that's one thing I might mention actually when we're talking about the sort of death of single player games as people were reacting to that Star Wars game. I mean, studios like Bethesda are pure mega single player. They're pure all for it. That's probably their biggest thing. So I mean, it's a shame more people don't support them in that respect. Because I think their games are good. They're quite. The only thing I'd say about their games is they all feel quite similar. Fallout's basically Skyrim. It's basically the same game with a different skin, isn't it? What is different? I mean, if you take Fallout and you take Skyrim, what is really different about them apart from the skin?
It's just the
setting.
same, isn't it?
It's
That's it.
still really the same game, isn't it? And then you take something like Doom and Wolfenstein, Dishonored. They're kind of the same.
First person carnage, isn't it? It's all very kind of.
They're all quite similar. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I guess if you don't like that sort of thing, you're not going to support them. But there we go. The evil, and sticking with Bethesda, the evil within physical. The Evil Within 2 physical launch sales were a quarter of the original.
God.
It's interesting.
This is physical sales. It was the same with Shadow of War, which also its sales were down as well compared to the original, which is quite interesting. But they were only down slightly though, the Shadow of War sales, whereas the Evil Within was down as much as what I said there, a huge amount. But it just shows you. I don't know if that's down to the fact that it's physical and more people are buying digital, or if it's down to the Bethesda effect where we know that the game's going to be cheaper in a month, so everybody's just waiting to buy it cheaper.
They're also well known for releasing games that are a bit wonky to start with, aren't they? And then they kind of patch them after a month or so.
Yeah, so you buy it after a month, you get a better game and you get it cheaper as well.
That's what I'm waiting for Evil Within 2. I just thought I'd just wait until it drops a little bit. Because it's like when I bought Prey. Oh no, well, I didn't buy Prey. Dan sent me a copy of Prey. Thank you. But when I was thinking of getting it, so many people were telling me, during its release in May, so many people were saying, don't do it, like it's unplayable, there's all these glitches. And the one that I got before I updated it, there were so many glitches, you couldn't even walk in a straight line. The camera would like tilt you side to side, and it had been out for 2 months. And it was like, why is it not fixed before it comes out?
Yeah, it's stupid.
Some developers or publishers just release games before testing them, it seems sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You just think, how is this passed?
You do wonder. I should have put this next to the Visceral news, but Dead Space 2 apparently cost 60 million to make. And it sold 4 million copies. But that wasn't enough to make the money back.
The profit.
So there you go. So that's probably one of the reasons that it goes down as well. And finally, Nintendo Switch got an update. I don't know. Did you download the update, Dan, at all? No,
I did today.
I've not downloaded it yet, but apparently it brings video capture for selected games. There's new profile icon featuring characters from Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda. You can transfer user profiles and save data to another system, so that's good if your system buggers up or whatever. At least you can keep
I thought mine was broke today. I think where it's not been turned on for about 6 months, it just wouldn't start. And then I put it in the dock to charge, and it wouldn't charge. So
I used to get that with Vita, where it wouldn't turn on. It would just have a light, and then eventually it would turn on. But I don't know when I turned my Switch on last. Oh, one more thing with there. There's one more thing for I go on about when I turned it on last. They've also added pre-purchase options, so you can basically pre-order games, like you can on PSN and all that. But I don't know. The last time I turned it on was to play Golf Story, because that's a really good game, that is. But I've not played it for a while, because I've kind of been playing a load of stuff on my PlayStation, so the Switch is kind of
still fairly recent though, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but I've just kind of been playing other stuff, so there we go. Okay, the charts. Oh, bugger, what have I done? The charts said FIFA 18 was number 1. Middle-earth Shadow of War, despite sales being down, was number 2. Evil Within, number 3, even though it sold 40% less than the original.
Do you mean Evil Within 2? Or it was Evil Within 1?
Evil Within 2 was number 3. I just missed out the 2 bit. Forza 7, number 4. Forza Horizon 3, number 5. So it just shows you, really, that the sales for these games are pretty bad. I mean, FIFA was down 70% or something. So the top 5, the sales is shocking. Like, I think Forza 7 only sold about 30,000 copies at launch or something, and it never got to number 1. But now sales went down even more. So the sales of Forza 7 is pretty shocking compared to other games. And I just don't know what's going on. They need to start including the digital sales in the charts along with the physical sales, because it will just completely change the face of the charts. You'd know then what was successful and what isn't, because at the moment it's quite difficult to know if the charts actually mean anything anymore. Do you know
why they don't include them? Just because it's difficult?
No, I don't know, but they're going to. Apparently, they're going to do something. They're going to at least make a digital chart. But obviously, 30% of sales go to digital, then it kind of makes the charts a bit void, really, doesn't it? It means they don't really make any sense if there's that many sales missing. Because that could completely change the face if one game sold a heck of a lot more than the other digitally. But so it'd be interesting when they do that eventually. And the final bit of news, which I've left for last, but I did have written down first, is that Sony's to publish Nintendo Switch games with new labels, Unties. Is it Unties? I'll call it Unties. Basically, it's indie games, and it's not Sony as in Sony PlayStation, it's Sony as in Sony Music doing it. So it's so in that respect, it's nothing. While it's good, it's nothing unusual. They've done it. They've done it on like mobile before and stuff. Publish indie games that we've never heard of, and they've been alright. And then they kind of shut down Sony Mobile, didn't they? So
seems weird though, doesn't it? It's a weird step, in my opinion.
It just says Unties is the new games publishing business operated by Sony Music Entertainment, and will focus on and find unique and innovative titles in order to penetrate the ever-expanding video game market within the indie games. And it says the firm plans to use Sony Music Entertainment's vast entertainment business wisdom to help its indie games reach as broad an audience as possible, and will handle PR and sales for all the titles across the platforms. So basically they're just giving these indie developers a gateway onto the other systems, but through them, so that they can get a cut from it, because they can see how well the likes of Nintendo Switch is doing in terms of indie titles, which seems to kind of really be the new home of indie titles at the moment.
I like it. I love indie games. So any chance for indie developers to get their foot in the door and on the scene. I'm fully supportive of that. If I had a Switch, I would definitely consider buying indie games, and I know there's quite a few that are coming out. Me and my boyfriend watched a 45-minute video of all the indie games coming to the Switch. So there's quite a few coming out that I would definitely buy, or be like, please come on to PS4 because it's an indie and everyone knows I love indie games. I want
but that's
review.
This on Ties isn't just for Switch though, it's for PC, it's for PS4 as well. So any games they do release are coming to PS4 as well. So
well,
they
that's
won't just
exciting.
become
I like
Switch.
that.
They might even go to Xbox as well, but it says the first title they've signed is a 3D turn-based strategy game called Tiny Metal, which will launch for PS4, Switch and PC on November 21st. But it's already signed 3 other titles: Last Standard, Robot Battler, Mikava Avalanche, and a VR remaster of Deemco, which is apparently a rhythm action title from 2013. It's got a remaster. So yeah, so I don't think I saw people talking about it going, oh wow, it's big news, but is it? Nah, it's not going to lead the way for Uncharted to be on Switch, do you know what I mean?
No. But I think it's good that we're getting more stuff on Switch anyway, because it has been, the console out of the consoles we have that people have been saying, well, I didn't buy a Switch because there's no games coming out for it. So even if it's something small while you're waiting for the big releases, like Mario or Yoshi or Kirby that are coming out in 2018, it's nice to have little filler games that you can play that only take 2 or 3 hours, but justify you purchasing a Switch for in the first place.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm looking to buy a Switch, and I'd like that option to be able to have more kind of, a wider selection of games to be able to play on it.
Yeah. I did ask her users, a couple responded. Spooky Dan again, he said he thinks it's a brilliant idea, Sony's branching out with Nintendo. And somebody called, what's his name, Levi? He said it's okay. He said it's about time even. So there's a couple of people who think it's a decent idea. But like I say, it's not exactly opening the door to Uncharted, which I don't even know if I'd like that. I don't know if what does everybody else think? Do you think, would you like it to open the door to Uncharted? Would that kind of devalue your PlayStation? What do you think?
It's a tough one. I think I don't know still. I'm kind of conflicted how Uncharted goes on a kind of handheld. Like I think you'd have to have like a kind of controller attachment, which would then kind of defy the point of it being on a Switch that you're playing on, because I don't think the controls for Uncharted are very well suited for a handheld, because the one on, obviously the Golden Abyss on a VR is extremely difficult to play with the kind of handheld. So I'm not sure how appropriate it'd be, but it'd be nice if kind of, the integration itself would be nice, but I'm just not sure how well suited it is.
Although if Dan gets his wish and gets a Vita 2, then you never know.
It depends what the terms of the agreements are, because you'd think there's going to be, if that was to happen, so Uncharted was released on Switch, which I agree it's not going to be. There'd be a return. There'd be, we'll do this if you do that. It would never just be we'll open up your small market to our massive selling game. There's no incentive for Sony. The deal is much more valuable for the other platforms than it is for Sony, because Sony already have a massive install base. So the incentive has to be what comes to Sony for doing it, rather than what Sony are giving the other people, in my opinion. Which is why I think that, although it's not PlayStation that are releasing games on other systems, it's Sony or Sony Music, and that's how they're dressing it up. I can't help but think that the kind of the response or the reply to that is going to be greater than what Sony Music are giving out.
Yeah, although at the end of the day, it's not technically Sony's games they're releasing on Nintendo Switch.
No, it's not yet, is it? But it's an olive branch. It's the start. But all I'm saying is, why would they do it when they've got 40 million PS4s and X amount of Vitas, which some people still use? When they've got that mass market already, why bother then releasing a game on the Switch which has sold, I don't know, 1 million. So, you know, that's a tiny proportion of the market that they could have by releasing just on PS4.
Yeah.
So there's got to be some incentive coming the other way. There has to be, in my opinion, because it's bad business otherwise.
The only way I see this particular one on ties, as they're called, is because they're just kind of trying to branch out their indie department to things like PC, Switch, other consoles without actually tying it to PlayStation. So they're just going, oh, we're Sony Music, we're not really part of the Sony PlayStation. So they're kind of just trying to take advantage and make money on those other platforms, which they will do. I mean, if people like games and they become a big hit or whatever on Switch and on PC and on PS4, then it's got to be worth their while doing, isn't it?
Yeah, but do you remember that rumour that was flying around about a month or so ago when it was that something's going to be said at the Sony conference that will annoy Nintendo Switch owners?
Oh, yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
No,
So-
I think that it wasn't the Sony. It was the Sony Japan conference he meant, didn't he? And
I
then
don't know, there was
nothing was
nothing
said. Nothing
I
was
don't know.
said. He said something was going to be announced, and that's probably what it was. That small announcement that Sony's going to release games on Switch. I don't know why it would annoy Switch owners, mind you.
No, so
It's a benefit.
But that's probably what he was alluding to. Probably that's what he was talking about. But I don't know.
time will tell.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on from that. I've got some user questions, although we can also talk about what we've been playing, and so I'll leave it to you. What way round do you want to do it?
Don't mind.
Let's mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we've been playing then, because the user
Yeah, go
questions will no doubt give us more to talk about in a minute, because we've got quite a few to go through actually. In fact, let's just mention what we've been playing, because we've got a lot of user questions, and I want them all.
Don't want to miss any.
Fit them all in this week. So, what I've been playing isn't really much different from what I was playing anyway. I've been playing FIFA 17. I finished Guardians of the Galaxy episode 4. I've not started Life is Strange yet. I know I said I was going to do that, but I was too busy playing FIFA 17. FIFA 18 even, not FIFA 17. And yeah. Oh, South Park, I played a bit of that as well. That's quite good.
Oh yeah, what do you think about it?
See, the thing about that is I'm not a fan of South Park, the TV show. I'm a Simpsons fan, but I've never really watched South Park on TV. I always kind of found it a bit vulgar, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the game's very vulgar.
I think it's a bit over the top.
Yeah.
That's what I think of South Park. But the game's quite good, actually. It's got its moments where it's a bit vulgar, and there's this poo game, and you need to do a poo in the toilet, and you play the mini game, and it's just a bit like...
There's bits that are even worse than that.
I didn't like that, because I thought it was a bit childish and a bit stupid. So it's like, oh, this is stupid. But when you're actually doing the combat and you're just doing some exploring stuff, it's actually really quite good. Like, you have to go around taking selfies and build a following on the sort of game's version of Instagram and stuff. It's quite funny in that respect. So there's certainly bits of enjoying about it. I like the sort of battling aspect and stuff, and the roleplay aspect, but there's bits that annoy me, like that toilet game, which I just didn't think was funny at all. But yeah, it's surprisingly good, I'd say. And it's almost just like being in the cartoon. That's how it's presented.
I love
way
the
you
style.
walk and
The
stuff,
style's
yeah.
really cool.
So yeah, that's quite cool. I must start Life is Strange, but like I say, FIFA 18's kind of hooking me at the moment. So yeah, that's about it. So I think I've got Assassin's Creed coming next week that I've rented from Boomerang. So yeah, so guy certainly
Busy week next
keeping
week.
me busy.
Yeah.
All these games.
Gosh.
It's got to be one of those backlog years, if you know what I mean, where I'm going to have all these
tell
games
me
sitting on
about
my shelf going, oh god, what do I play? And I just end up playing the same thing and then never bother with the rest of them. What about you, Dan, for your time playing?
Nothing massive. I've played a couple of kind of, I think they're indie games by a publisher called Ratalaka Games. I can't say it. I'm sorry. I apologise. They port kind of indie PC games onto Switch or Vita or PS4. So I've been playing a couple of them. One called Twin Robots, which is basically it's a 3D. It's not 3D. It's a 2D platformer where there's two robots. One's going to be squished in a compactor, so the other one has to run off, find the button to save him, and then you've got to kind of finish the level together by either opening doors for each other or just getting through the level. So I've been playing that, which is quite good. It's a bit glitchy at times. It was fine on Vita, but it was a bit of a pain on PS4. And then also I've been playing something called Square Boy versus Bullies, which is again same publisher. It's a 2D like beat 'em up almost. What do you call them? Not one-on-one beat 'em up, but a scrolling beat 'em up. So you're like SpongeBob SquarePants, but without pants. Just walk along and beat up enemies as you go, and it's not, they're not groundbreaking, but they're half decent games to pass the time. They're on Vita, so.
Speaking of bullies, did you see that Burger King advert? That is quite funny.
No.
Well, funny, it's not really funny, but it's just interesting, shall we say. Basically, they had a group of actors who was like kids, kind of school age, and then they were picking on one of the boys, just, I guess, to see what people's reaction would be. And at the same time, when people ordered a burger, the guy behind the counter was punching their burger and then wrapping it up. And then giving them it, so they open the burger up and it's all mashed. And 95% people complained about the burger, but only 12% of people tried to do anything about the bullying. I find that quite interesting.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Oh, it's quite
but back on those
good
games as well. If you like collecting trophies, they're quite good for getting platinum trophies.
Oh,
So
I don't say that.
If you want some kind of 2-3 hour platinum trophies, the Twin Robots is cross-buy, so you buy it once, you get it on PS4 and Vita, and the trophy lists are separate, so that's 2. And then Square Boy versus Bullies is one platinum, but basically all you have to do is finish the game. So that was quite nice.
I don't know what I think about trophies still. I kind of...
Really?
Well, I didn't ask.
No, I just think no, because you mentioned that. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know what I think of them. I still think they're a bit of a waste of time. I don't know why. I don't know why they're there.
To make you happy when you do something.
Yeah, to show other people what you've been playing, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's just a log of what you've been playing and how you've been playing it, really.
Yeah, but people can see it. You've been playing it anyway with Fit Trophies, can't they? It pops up saying, when you go into your friends list, it tells you what your friends are playing, doesn't it?
That's right now, though, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, it's like it makes you strive for more thorough kind of game completion, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah, I agree.
you know.
It doesn't with me, though. I don't care.
Well, that's fine. I'd rather have the option to do or not do it, though, than
Yeah.
someone like not want it and then they take it away because that person doesn't want it. So
Yeah.
at least we have the choice.
Just be quite interested to know how many people out of the 60 million on a PlayStation actually care that much
Not
that they
many.
would complete a game.
But you can tell, can't you, if you look at some trophies that are the story-based games, you can see how many people have achieved certain trophies. So you can tell how many people have finished a game. So.
Yeah, because I mean, I've got all these trophies for completing a game, but I don't. For those same games, you won't see my list say 100% or whatever, because I'm not. So what is completing a game in a story-based game? Is it finishing the story, or is it getting all the trophies?
Well, completing the game is just finishing the story, isn't it? Getting all the trophies. Is
That's
what you
what
get a
I would
platinum
think.
trophy for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two different things.
If you're really interested, you should put a poll up, see what the community thinks about trophies and.
But it'd be a
Right.
niche reply though, because trophies aren't like Joe's. A lot of people just play FIFA, like casually play games. They're not bothered, are they?
Yeah.
I I mean, my
That's
first
funny about
experience at trophies really was on Xbox, because obviously they were first to do it. So my first experience was kind of at achievements, and at first I loved it. I loved the idea. I loved the thought of. I just loved the little ping you would get when it said achievement unlocked when you'd done something right. I really liked that. And so when they brought it to PlayStation, I thought it was cool. But in a way, I kind of preferred achievements more than I did trophies. And I don't know, is there much a difference? I quite liked the achievement unlocked, and then it would just give you some points. And then it was this satisfying wee ping you would get when you done it. Does the trophies ping? I don't know.
Yeah, I prefer the trophies. The trophies have a nicer kind of layout, like you kind of get levels and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I prefer that to just having like a number by your gamer tag.
So yeah, I like trophies and that, but I don't think I would ever really strive myself to go and collect trophies like Dan does, because if I look at a trophy list and I see something that seems unachievable or something that will drive me insane, I don't want to getting that trophy to force me to fall out of love for the game. So I would never go for something. So for example, Little Nightmares, I have, I think, 90% of the trophies, but there's one that's like complete the game in an hour and don't die at all. I'm like, well, I'm never going to get that. And trying to get that will make me mad at the game. And I love Little Nightmares. So I would hate to force myself to do that.
I agree with you. I think if I've completed Uncharted, even if I've completed it normal or whatever, why should I have to then play it again in ultra hard murderer level or whatever it's called?
It's just preference.
You don't have to, though, do you? You don't have to.
Yeah, it's a choice.
No, but it's annoying though, because you've completed the game, so why should you have to do it again? I mean, I think if you've completed the game, there shouldn't be another trophy for completing the game in a harder difficulty. I think that winds me up. It does, because if you've completed the game, you've sat for hours and hours and hours to complete the game. Why should you have to do it again just to get a trophy? I don't think that's fair. I think
the whole point of achieving a trophy, though, is to achieve it, not to just get it for doing nothing, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you've sat for hours and played the game, completed it, you've not done nothing. You've put.
But you do get a trophy for
time
finishing the game on standard mode.
Yeah,
You'll
but
always
I'm
get a
just
trophy
saying
for
you
finishing a
should
game.
get the top trophy should go to anyone who's completed the game, no matter what difficulty level. Because
but then you'd say the top trophy should go to anyone that completes it on the hardest difficulty, because that's the hardest thing to do. That's like in life, you've got to try to do things. There's no point in just saying, oh, well done, here, have everything, because you've driven your car. Like, you've still got to try to be better.
We're having another argument, guys.
Yeah, no, I know. It's fine, and everyone's different opinions, but I'd rather, like I say, it be there, because you're adding value.
Yeah, but no one does it. It's they're putting
you can't
people
say
off.
that no one does it.
Well, we know it's a niche thing, but I mean, if you give the trophy to everybody who completes the game, then more people would. Say there's only, what I'm talking about here is just there being one trophy for completing the game. So get rid of all these, complete it on a harder difficulty, and you'll get a gold trophy instead of a silver, whatever. I just think there should be one trophy that says complete the game, and then everybody who completes the game gets that trophy, so you don't need to play the full game again. And then I think that would encourage more people to try and get all the trophies for a game, because if they've got that trophy for completing the game, they might go, right, I'll go back and do all these other bits. But to have to play the whole game again just so that you can get one trophy is a bit wrong.
Well, you don't, though, because if you finish Uncharted on crushing first time round, you get all the difficulty trophies. So
straight away,
it does. So
yeah,
I think it just really does depend on how much you enjoy the game. So that I only have something like 5 platinum trophies, which is terrible and so embarrassing. But when I got Bloodborne, I was like, this is so hard. But I wanted it so badly that I didn't mind going through all the difficult things. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I'm happy to do the game 3 times over. I'm happy to do all the horrible chalice dungeons. I'm happy to collect everything because I love the game. And for me, that was like an added bonus to the game. I was like, in getting the platinum, I'm exploring so much more that the developers put in there in the first place for people like me who want to get the platinum to explore. It's just, it opens the game up a bit more. Yeah. But it's not necessary. That's what I love about it. You don't have to do it.
Yeah. That's like, because that's like what got me into trophy hunting was Ratchet and Clank, because I loved kind of as a kid being able to go through and thoroughly complete them all.
Yeah.
And I used to do that on my PS2, and being able to kind of get, rewarded for it, essentially, that kind of spurred me on to think,
Well,
I
it's
really
great, isn't it?
enjoy doing this. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I think it depends how driven you are, doesn't it? It's all down to
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah, there's just so many games in there, and that's why I don't bother. I mean, if I only had 2 games or whatever a year, then maybe I would. But there's just really so many that you just think, there's no way you would get them all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There probably is somebody out there who's got a platinum trophy for every game they own, but I mean, to me, I don't know. I just think it's a waste of time. I think if you've put the hours in to complete a game, that should be good enough, really. I think, because I mean, some games can take you hours. Imagine having to play something like Fallout twice. Imagine you thought, I'll play it normal to begin with, because I'm not sure of how I'll get on in the hardest difficulty. And then you had to play the whole game again just to get one
but
trophy.
you don't to get the platinum trophy for Fallout. You just play it once.
Well, I don't know.
I've
That
done
was
it.
just an example.
Oh,
but, I mean,
God, it's getting very tense.
We've really veered off, haven't we? This
Yeah.
is what have you
What else
guys
have you been
saying to
playing?
trophies?
Our opinions
Interesting.
aren't going to change it, so there's
You know.
2,151,779,275 trophies earned, according to PSN profiles and that's for tracking 3.2 million gamers basically, and that's how many trophies they've earned. So that's quite a lot, isn't it?
Loads.
So yeah. So obviously people earn them, but I've earned loads of trophies, but I mean, what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? I don't even bother with them, and I've earned
I've
loads.
noticed you hide your trophies, don't you?
No,
Do you not? Oh, it says that they're hidden on your PSN profile.
they shouldn't be. You should be able to see.
You hid them after the near Fallout on Twitter.
For a little while, because people annoy me, but no, they're not hidden now. But 3,303 trophies I've got. I'm a level 17. I've got mostly bronzes, because I don't really go for them. But I mean, get 2,822 bronzes just for kind of not
That's
even
insane.
trying to get trophies. It's just nuts. But then obviously if I'm at a level, whatever you call it, on Xbox as well, level 30, whatever. So obviously I've played a lot of games on there. So if I dedicated everything to PlayStation, I'd probably have double what I got now. And that's without even trying, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes I think that's why I think it takes the value away from them, because sometimes even if you're not trying, you get them. I like
true.
games where I think you should just get I don't know, maybe there should be a different trophy for completing a game, so you get platinum, or you get just something special for completing the game, because they talk about the percentage of people who actually go a game from start to finish and complete the game, and it's quite a low percentage. So instead of trying to get people 100% games, which is never going to happen, they should also maybe focus on trying to get people to complete a game first of all. Why not just give them something special for doing that, even if it's not a trophy, like a theme or something?
Because they don't get nothing, do they? Once the game's sold, that's all they care about. They get the revenue for selling a game, not for someone finishing it.
Yeah, it would just be nice. Yeah, but I mean, if someone finishes a game, say you get halfway through a game, you think, I can't bother with this, I'm not going to play it ever again. But then say you complete a game, and if you put that much time into it, and eventually you'd really enjoy it, so you keep going, you complete the game, that might then encourage you to buy the sequel, if you know the full story. So if they give you a little gift for it at the end of it, then it might even think, I got that little gift, I completed the game, I'm definitely going to buy the sequel.
Well, I try and get all the trophies in the games I play, so technically that is what trophies are for me.
Yeah.
So, it's different for everyone. That is my little bugbear, that I think if you complete a game, you should have to play it again just to get the same thing. But, there we go. It's always fun to have an argument about it anyway. It shows we're all passionate about it instead of just being boring. Right, we got a bit of sidetrack, so you better mention, because we've been going too long already, we're going on out of time for our questions. That's right. So you better just give us a quick overview of what you two have been playing.
Just don't mention trophies, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if I can really talk about what I've been playing because I'm not sure if it's under embargo or not, so I'll just glance over it. So I've been playing Memories of Old. That's what I've been playing, number 1. And everything else has just been going back to older games, like Dying Light. I've been going back to... My boyfriend wants to play Planet of the Eyes, which is something I got a platinum trophy in.
Oh gosh, here we go.
But no, I don't know. I think sometimes because I have all my games as physical editions, sometimes I just look at my shelf and I'm like, oh, I haven't played this in ages. I'll play this again, which is another reason why I like physical, because I feel like if they were digital, I'd completely forget I had them until...
Let's not have this argument this week.
Yeah, but that's it. Literally just replaying old games and playing something that I'm going to review on Halloween.
Oh.
Cool.
Well, I have been playing Fortnite Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Are you anyone?
I don't know.
No?
No, I don't know.
Never heard of it.
Both my sons have. I know my little boy downloaded it today, and I know my older boy, he's been playing it, but I don't really know anything about it. I know it's by Epic Games. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's basically a cartoony version of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So, like, obviously, you kind of base jump into this big map. You kind of have to, like, scavenge weapons and stuff and kind of stay alive the longest. And, oh, my God, like, I've been having such a laugh with it. Like, I'm quite surprised. It must literally get away by the skin of its teeth, like, because of its similarities to PUBG. Like, it's literally...
Yeah, there has been some controversy about it.
Yeah, literally. It's just, they've incorporated, like, building elements. It's more or less, like, the same game.
Apparently
but it's
they were
so
going to sue
good.
them.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's literally the same thing, and like, it's so funny though because like when it gets really kind of condensed and you're all in this little circle trying to like fight to survive. Like the person I've been playing with. Oh God, the dogs are barking. Right. So like the person I've been playing with, we've been getting to like the last few people and just hiding in bushes because you can kind of like make your character blend into a bush. And we were playing earlier, and we were looking at these people in this town and sniping them and that. And then we turned around, and someone had built like a base behind us, and we were like, "Oh my God, they've not seen us!" It's so funny, honestly. If you love kind of playing a co-op game, it's absolutely fantastic, and I can't floor it. It's really, really good. I love it. It makes me excited for PlayerUnknown.
Reminds me of Laser Quest. We used to do this thing in Laser Quest called Marines. The guy who owned the Laser Quest done this thing where he would have two sets of teams, and you would be Marines, and as you went through each game, you would rank up, so you'd become a sergeant or a lieutenant, whatever. But there was this one specific game we'd play called Predator, Alien and Predator, and two of the staff would dress up as an alien and predator, and if they caught you, they would unplug your pack. So that was basically you dead, and you had to start again from private. Because obviously you would rank up over the weeks and weeks, so if you went for weeks and weeks without getting killed, you would rank up. But the good thing about it is when you're playing this game, you only had a certain amount of lives. So and you only had a certain amount of bullets as well, because they could do that with the packs. Who knew that? So you'd be playing the game and you could run out of bullets, and then if at the end of the game your time's running out, and it's like, oh no, what am I going to do? Because you need to survive. And if this thing catches you, it will just unplug you and that's you dead. So I would, because I'm quite small, I would find, and it's quite dark in there, I would always find the sort of really small nooks and crannies to pure squeeze into that nobody else could squeeze into, and I would just stay there really still until the game ended. And I think he'd killed absolutely everybody in the whole, because about 40 people played it or something, and he'd managed to kill them all, and they all thought everybody was dead, and I just came out this wee space going, no, I'm not. But yeah, mind with that. No, that's cool, that. But yeah. So games, I can understand the appeal where you kind of need to stay alive. It's quite...
Yeah, it's really good. For free to play as well, it's absolutely fantastic. Like, I've really enjoyed it.
But what kind of, what's to that? I guess you can buy stuff if you want to.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's because it's in like a beta kind of version at the moment, where it's not exactly the full game, because I don't know whether that's where they're going to kind of match the kind of controversy with its like kind of similarities to PUBG, but at the moment, like, it's just the kind of online bit, so that might be why it's free.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, well, let's move on to use questions then, because we're going out of time. I've already removed one of them because it was about single player games dying and what our thoughts on it are, but we kind of covered
Can we
that a little
just
bit.
shout out the website and the fact that there's, I think, 3 or 4 reviews went up last week, written by Rob and also Rebecca's Bloodborne. So check out the website. There's loads more reviews coming up over the next couple of weeks. Rob's gonna have sore wrists, and he's writing as well. So with all his
Sean
time
as well. He might have another guest post up soon.
So just make sure you visit the website, check out Rob's Abyss review, the Judge review, and the Inner World, the Last Wind Monk.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, which is awesome, with a few more coming very soon.
Right, yeah, make sure to do that. Right, before I go ask a question, I'm just going to ask this question from Aid on Twitter, but I think we've maybe answered this one before, so just bear with me. The question is, what is your favourite moment in a game and why? Have we mentioned that? I swear we've answered that before, have
That
we
sounds
not?
really familiar.
It does, doesn't it?
Probably something similar to that before.
Yeah. Anyway, you can say if you want. I mean, mine's is basically Darksiders, where his brothers come down from the sky, spoiler alert. But yeah, that's my favourite moment in any game. Anyone else?
I liked, there's certain scenes in The Walking Dead Season 2 that I thought were incredible. I didn't see coming, but I won't spoil them. But there's some scenes in that I was like shocked at. I was like, no way, they did that.
I think I mentioned mine before. It's Ratchet and Clank Crack in Time, like the ending.
Yeah,
I think we did favourite endings before, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I think that's the question. It was because obviously that was But no, that's still my favourite is the ending of Crack in Time. Yeah.
I like the boss fight in Ocarina of Time.
Which one?
Well, the last one.
Oh, Ganondorf.
But then he changes into Ganon, and you're like, oh my god.
Into the big, you have to run through his legs.
That was cool. So, yeah.
Okay, if you could get a game created, what would you choose to make? I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. Don't know if I should, because then someone will like the idea and I don't make my millions.
Yeah, don't say it then. Don't say it.
Nah, it's cool. I'll say it, because I'm not bothered. What I would make is an Uncharted style VR game. Now, you need to bear with me. So, Uncharted / Star Wars / VR game. The way it would work, right? The game would be presented in an Uncharted style, so cinematic, sort of third person shooter sort of style, but it would be sort of based in a sort of Star Wars style universe, so it'd be based in space basically, so you'd be kind of running around a spaceship or whatever and exploring different planets or whatever, but the bit where the VR kicks in is like when you're in space and like you get attacked with other ships, and you would run to the sort of cockpit of the ship, and at that moment you'd put your VR helmet on, and then you'd have your dogfights and stuff, and then once it's over you'd take the helmet off again and just go back to playing the game as normal on a TV. So kinda, I think that'd be a great way to incorporate VR into gaming, just to have certain moments where you can just put it on and play the bits that are best in VR, and then take it off again and then play on the TV as normal, because playing on VR for too long is a bit too much. But if you could just get it into games like that, just in small bursts, I think it'd be brilliant. So yeah, that's my sort of idea. Anyone else got one?
I don't know. I have like it's not like, action packed or anything like that, but it kind of, I've always thought about it like a kind of a less violent, more kind of domesticated and nice version of like GTA. Kind of like you kind of, just live in a house, like you own a property and a car and blah blah blah. But you can go out to the park and like feed the ducks or something, and just go around and kind of like do really kind of mellow things. Like in my head, like I've always kind of pictured this kind of game, and it sounds
like
a lot
The
cooler in my
Sims.
head.
It does,
But like kind of like third person, where you kind of got more kind of control, and it's not kind of like point and click kind of stuff. It's more kind of interactive in that way. Like to me, that's a really kind of mellow. I don't need reality today, so I'm going to make my own reality.
Yeah,
You
so
know.
you just go out, instead of GTA where you just nick someone's car or whatever, you just go out in your own car, go to the supermarket,
Yeah,
park in the car
exactly.
park, walk and buy your
Yeah.
oranges, take a drive
like-
to McDonald's drive-through.
Yeah. In my head, it sounded a lot cooler than when I've said it now, because now I just sound like
Do you know what?
really
There's something
boring.
to that though, because I've played this game Truck Simulator, and all you do is drive a truck, and you'll go and pick up your goods, and then you'll drive it through Germany or wherever it is to the next to your goal, and deliver the goods, and then go and do it. So it's basically you're just doing a job in a game, and it's a bit like farming simulator as well. You're just driving along and ploughing the fields or whatever. There's something about it. I mean, these games are massive. Like Truck Simulator and like Farm Simulator, they're quite popular games. So there must be something to that sort of thing. So you might be onto something.
Hopefully. If any developers are hearing this, hit me up, yeah.
What about you, Rebecca? You got anything?
Not really. I'm not too creative. I don't think I'd ever be able to create it, but I just want more stuff like Inside, Limbo, and Little Nightmares. I'm not very creative, but if anyone could make me games like that, I'd be happy.
Sometimes it's not as hard as you think. Do you know I made a game?
You do?
I released it on iOS,
That's cool.
and I've never
Gosh.
programmed a thing in my life. There's this thing called Game... What is it called again? God, I've not used it for a while. Game Maker. That's what it's called, and
Oh, right.
it simplifies it, but you still need to learn a little bit of coding. So I just taught myself a bit in 2 weeks, and I made a game in a month, and I released it on iOS. I done all my own graphics. I wrote my own song for it, and I sung it in the game and played it on my
cool.
guitar.
That's really awesome.
And I
Although when
made
you
up-
said that though, I was expecting you to be like the mastermind behind Flappy Bird or something, where you've just made a game to make everyone
Yeah.
miserable
No, but the game...
and annoy everyone.
I mean, I think it's quite good for a first ever game, and it's called Papa Pig. And let's see, I made my own music. I'd got my iPad, and I made this disco tune for one of the levels, and I made the opening theme tune for the game, which is really catchy. It goes
Yeah.
do 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 do. It's good, so it is. No, but I was well impressed with myself that I managed to release a game just within a month. So I think if you've got the determination, you can do it. I think it got about 1,000 downloads or something. So I was
crazy.
quite pleased with that. I mean, but yeah. So I think as long as you've got determination, I think you can do anything really. You just kind of need to put your mind to it. I mean, because I'm the least artistic person in the world, to be honest. But I just wanted to do it, so I did it. But yeah.
Oh.
You got anything, Dan? You want to
No,
mention?
I wouldn't make a game, but I'd like to commission someone to do a Wonder Woman game based on the Arkham Asylum series or Batman Arkham series. Like,
You
use
never
that
know.
engine.
Maybe that's their next game.
I hope so. Yeah, that's what I'd like them. Just basically reskin Arkham Asylum into a Wonder Woman game, please. Thank you.
Well, they're definitely up to something, Rocksteady,
Yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see what they're doing next. Okay, a few more questions. If you could... Oh, no, that's the one I've just said. What do gamers consider single-player games? Because COD, Battlefield, Battlefront 2 and Red Dead 2 have single-player that is story-driven. I don't know who asked that question. Oh, no, it's no fake, because he also says, let's not forget Wolfenstein 2, God of War, Days Gone and Spider-Man are some of the big single-player titles still to come. I think I wouldn't consider COD, Battlefront 2 single-player games, but I would consider Red Dead 2 a single-player game
Yeah.
because it's
Depends
Rockstar
on-
and they always do a big story.
It depends on what the emphasis is on when it's being made.
Yeah, when they're in kind of circulation properly, like, you know, where the focus lies, and with Battlefront and Call of Duty and stuff like that, we have to admit all the focus is obviously on the multiplayer, regardless of how good the single player is.
Yeah. Whereas if you say for Red Dead 2, that's a tough one because Rockstar's multiplayer, especially for GTA 5, is massive. But really, if you think of the game, you think of it as a single player game where the multiplayer is a sort of add-on, a bit like you would Uncharted, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Mario Kart, for example. Like, that's a single player game with a multiplayer option, isn't it? But it depends how it's weighted.
Yeah.
in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
yeah, I think, right, but I mean, it's a tough one with some games. Certainly Rockstar games, because I think most people would consider them single player games, but then it's got such a huge audience for its multiplayer now that a lot would consider it a multiplayer game. So I don't know. Tough. Good question anyway. I don't know. So what is a single player game? Uncharted.
Yeah, Lost Legacy.
And what's a multiplayer game? Call of Duty. That's what we'd say.
Yeah.
Probably. I think
Yeah.
most would kind of
Yeah.
agree. But yeah.
I'd rather, though, that they didn't just shoehorn multiplayer into some of these games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
I
because
think-
it ruins the trophy list.
See, I could do
seems
without
pointless.
multiplayer on Uncharted. I don't know how many people play it, but I know
I could do it
It's
without.
good.
I could do it without it in any game. I just don't play multiplayer. People are idiots. I can't be bothered with them. So I'd rather play on my own.
maybe they should just release these games as two separate things, and if you want to play it, you do, and if you don't, you don't. But put
Yeah.
both on separate discs or separate downloads or whatever. That way it'd solve your trophy problem, because you could kind of have two sets of trophies then.
Yeah,
I get why they
separate
do it.
trophies, but
Because it stops people trading it in, and then it stops them losing money from sales of second-hand games. But I just, yeah, it's just
Yeah, but if
frustrating.
they'd done it that way, they wouldn't trade it in if they had two discs, or if they,
Yeah,
then that would stop them trading it in, really, because I doubt they would be able to trade in just one disc.
yeah.
So that might be a way of doing it, I guess. Okay, oops, my screen's went off. I've got one last question though, and that's from Cat Vitronic, or Vectronic. What's that one game you would like to see remastered or ported over for the next generation of consoles? Oh God.
I answered this on Twitter already.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have one. I quite like the idea of with new consoles you get new content. I mean, like, if I keep my PS4, then I'll just be able to play my PS4 games all the time. Obviously, I'd love it if they did backwards compatibility, but I don't think they will. Do you know what I mean? Do you think they will?
No,
I like the
I
game
just
Discussion a
think,
lot, don't we?
yeah, I just think that this will work automatically. Yeah. So I do. Yeah, that's what I think. Hey, what do I know? Okay, I think I've lost them because I just broke my internet, so don't worry, I'm still here. I'll get them back in a second, probably. 1, 2, 3. And we're waiting. Are they back? Are they back?
be able to play it again
They're back.
because it's a really good game.
They just missed all of that, by the way, because my internet went down. So I think the last thing they heard was... Oh, you still there? I've lost them again. Oh dear, this isn't a very good end to the podcast, is it? Never mind. We were talking about the question about games we'd like to see ported over, but unfortunately we don't seem to have got to answer it. So there you go. Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just telling the users how I've just
just disappeared
missed
then.
that entire conversation because my internet just went conked
Oh,
out. So
I couldn't hear
Yeah.
anything.
So yeah, you've disappeared. But if you can
rubbish.
give us a quick summary, that'll be alright.
What did you miss?
everything
With
about the
everything there.
entire question about what you'd like to see ported over. So is that a quick summary of what you'd like to be ported over is probably best.
Yeah, you were talking about Portal.
Yeah, Portal. Just
Ah.
on the pretense that it's not gonna, see another one, more than likely. So
I love Portal 2, what a great game. Brilliant.
fantastic game.
Loved that. I completed that. I found it frustrating because I found it really hard, but yeah, but I really liked it.
So good.
Okay, there. So there you go, Portal. I have to say, I don't know. I think, like we were saying before it get cut off, I just think PS4 discs will automatically work in PS5 anyway. I think there's no doubt about it. 100% it's going to happen because
Can you smash your blue controller when it doesn't happen then this time?
it's already smashed. I need to buy a new blue controller. It's kind of fun to bits, unfortunately. It's my favourite one as well, but it's kind of gone to bits now. I wouldn't mind one of those. Here, let's just talk about that before we go. how they're releasing these controllers, but they're not coming to UK. There was the crystal one, which has come to UK as sort of clear crystal, but for some reason they're not releasing the red crystal and the blue crystal in the UK, and the same goes for that new orange controller as well. It's a bit odd, isn't it? It's a bit odd.
Doesn't really bother me.
Nah.
I've got black one, so.
I like my card controllers, but I just think it's odd that we don't get them.
Yeah, it's a bit.
What do you think
They
the
might come
reason
though.
is?
Brexit.
Yeah.
But we still get the crystal one, but not the blue or the red. How does
Yeah,
that
the
affect
crystal one
Brexit?
is
Just get the
nasty.
worst one.
Yeah, the
just
crystal looks
give us the
tacky and
shit.
disgusting. Yeah.
Unless there's just a limited number of them, so they're just kind of spreading them about the different countries, just so that everybody gets some. But the thing is, it doesn't stop you these days anyway, because I can just go onto Amazon Germany and get the blue crystal one, and it'll
Yeah.
be here in 2 days. So kind of in a way, it doesn't matter, because you don't get
Yeah.
any import taxes or anything like that from Amazon Europe. Do you know what I mean? So you can just buy it anyway. So I don't suppose it's
Yeah.
really a big deal. But I was just wondering more than anything else. Okay, have we covered everything? We've been going on for ages. This is our longest.
Yeah.
This is officially
we're
our
right.
longest episode ever.
Yeah.
Did you know that? That's an interesting fact for you. We've been going for nearly an hour and 20 minutes. So our
Gosh.
longest episode ever.
So it's our longest and newest episode ever. Wow.
And all because we're arguing.
Yeah.
I'll argue all day long. I'm quite happy to do
I think,
that.
yeah, we know, Joe. We see you on Twitter.
I like to get my point across. Right, anyway, it'd be good to know. Actually, I can't wait till we get the feedback from our users and they tell us their thoughts on all these things, because it's great to hear what other people think. Especially in the trophy thing, I'd love to know what people think of them.
Yeah.
Okay, has everyone had enough?
Yeah.
Okay then. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Episode 41 next week. And that'll be surrounding Sony's PlayStation press conference, so we'll see.
We should have flipping
How
done
was
some
that?
predictions. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that until you stopped pressing the record button.
Yeah, we forgot about that.
We
But
could
it
tweet
doesn't
them
matter.
out, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Just tweet out your predictions, and users can tweet them out as well, and we'll see what happens. It'll be all
Yeah.
fun. It'll be all fun. There's some price cuts involved. That's my one thing that comes to my mind. Prediction. Something to do with price cuts. That's it. Okay. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.